Hello everyone, this is a brief disclaimer before my video to forestall some argument in the comments section. Now, I've pronounced the name of the unit here Skitarii, even though a lot of people are saying that the word is actually Skitarii. We have to admit that Latin and Low Gothic are slightly different, however, the reason I've pronounced it Skitarii is because there is an actual Roman legionary unit called the Triarii, which I've learnt about a long time ago, and because the spelling is incredibly similar, I've used that as a basis for my pronunciation. However, I am under the impression that there's a couple of audiobooks from the Black Library that has pronounced it as Skitarii, which means that it may be the official pronunciation for Games Workshop. However, as I said, I've only learnt about the word through written text, and that is why I've used such a different pronunciation. So going forward, I apologise if people don't like the pronunciation in this video, but I hope you can understand why I've pronounced it the way I've pronounced it, and hopefully it will not be too badly mauled by the comment section. So thank you for listening to my overly long disclaimer, and I hope you enjoy the video. Hello and welcome to the Vaults of Terra. My name is Ed and today we're going to be doing a roundup video for the Mechanicus, covering a few things we did not mention in our original Mechanicus video. Today we're going to be talking about the Skitarii and the Ordinatus. Now, the Skitarii are the military arm of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and thanks to their link directly to the Mechanicus, they have access to more advanced weapons and armour. Now, they also have access to bionics, and they are regularly used to improve the performance of the common Adeptus Mechanicus soldier. They also use weapons links and sensory feeds, which allow them to access their weapons data and be more precise, allowing them to be more accurate in combat than some other guard units. Now, Skitarii is an official term for all the martial forces under Mechanicus command, with the exception of the Collegia Titanica, who possess their own forces, and the Knights, who have their own houses. Now, an alternative title is the Tech Guard, which is usually used by those outside the Mechanicus, and the singular form of Skitarii is Skitarius. Now, this is a term often used only in mention of the augmented infantry, but it does refer to any martial force commanded by the Mechanicus. Now, the creation of a Mechanicus soldier is classified, but it often involves heavy augmentation, although they are not servitors and still retain independent thought to a degree. The most augmented members of the Skitarii are known as Skitarii Alphas, which is a high honour for any Skitarii to achieve. Now, due to their modification, a Skitarii can survive in almost any atmosphere, even in no atmosphere, although that is only for a limited period of time, as they are still biological underneath all that metal. Now, they are often armed with similar equipment to the Imperial Guard. However, the actual equipment can vary wildly depending on their origin. There is little standardisation or central command for the Skitarii across the Mechanicus, making each regiment essentially a private army of the Magos that raised it. Now, they also act as bodyguards for the Adeptus Mechanicus survey teams, and so will often be on the front line in new discoveries of alien races or unknown threats. Their organisation is quite simple, and will be familiar to anyone who studied the Roman Empire in the past. Each Forge world has roughly one legion of Skitarii divided into a number of macroclades, and those in turn are divided down into 4 cohorts, consisting of 3 maniples. On a side note, most Skitarii troops can actually simply march into battle without stopping rather than being taken via overland transport, even if the journey takes months, as their mechanical implants can usually take the strain of the long journey. Now, there are different types of Skitarii, and they are divided up based on their role. The most common type of Skitarii is the Haspastis, a standard infantryman armed with a lasgun. They are usually more augmented than a normal Imperial Guardsman, and have received emotional suppression surgery in order to be more effective on the battlefield, if not effective off the battlefield. Now, there are also the Skitarii Vanguard, which are radiation weapon equipped soldiers, which sounds very scary. The Skitarii Rangers, who are hunter-killers, which basically means they go out and hunt down tanks and other armour in order to remove them from the battlefield. There is also the Sicarian Infiltrators, who are scouts, and the Sicarian Rust Stalkers, which are assassins. There's also the Skitarii, who are dedicated squad-free heavy weapons operatives, the Ballistaria, who are the artillery units, and the Cataphractii, who are armoured units. When I say armour, this ranges from small transports to heavy walkers and super heavy tanks such as Baneblades, but not Titans or Knights. Also, they have the Praetorians, who are the elite guard of the Skitarii, who are super enhanced with a huge array of cybernetics and heavy equipment. They also have the Alphas, who are the squad commanders, the Tribunes, who are the officers, and the Master of the Skitarii, who are the commanders of a Skitarii brigade. Now that I've mentioned the Skitarii, this is basically everything we know about them that is relevant. I'm going to move on to the Ordinatus. Now, the Ordinati are Leviathan-sized war machines created by the Adeptus Mechanicus and overseen by the Centurio Ordinatus. Now, the Centurio Ordinatus is responsible for all aspects of these machines. Every individual Ordinatus is unique and named for the world in which it was first employed or built, and is designed for a specific purpose, with specialised weapons for their intended role. Some were designed to destroy cities, some deal with enemy titans, and others to transport entire regiments underground. Now, these devices were used heavily during the Horus Heresy. Afterwards, many were lost or forgotten in the restructuring of the Imperium. However, they've been rediscovered many centuries or millennia later, and usually lead to conflict over who owns such a world-ending device. Now, there are several known Ordinati. One of them is the Ordinatus Armageddon, which bears a massive plasma-based Nova cannon capable of destroying enemy titans with one shot. It was originally constructed for the First War of Armageddon against Chaos, and was partially reawakened to be used against the Orcs by the Black Templars in the Third War for Armageddon. Next up is the Ordinatus Golgotha. Now, this is from one of the squat homeworlds and carries 6 Hellfire missiles and can destroy huge swathes of enemy infantry and their light vehicles very quickly. Next up is the Ordinatus Mars, which is armed with a sonic disruptor that can destroy buildings and small hills and was created during the Martian Civil War during the Horus Heresy. Next up is the Ordinatus Priam, which is a huge tunnelling machine purpose-built for the siege of Priam during the Horus Heresy, and was designed to travel through a planet's crust to breach enemy defences, carrying with it several divisions of Imperial Guard. However, it was ultimately badly damaged during that conflict and was not used correctly. Coming to the end of our list now is the Ordinatus Gehenna, which was equipped with an apocalypse cannon capable of destroying mountains and punching holes through a planet's crust, for when overkill is something you need to do. Finally today is the Ordinatus Magnetus, which is equipped with a sonic destructor cannon much like the Ordinatus Mars, and is capable of annihilating city blocks and mountain slopes, being slightly more powerful than the Ordinatus Mars. So, that's everything I wanted to mention today in this roundup video. As I mentioned, the reason I'm calling it a roundup video is basically we are currently just gathering together everything we've missed out already and trying to fit them into videos, no matter how long the video is. Now, this might be a little bit hard with some of the longer topics, and we'll be trying to cut those down to several videos, but hopefully we'll be able to get everything out of the way, and then we'll be moving on to our next subject. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video. If you want to leave a comment, please do so in the comment section below. If you'd like to ask me a question personally, you can use my personal message on YouTube. If you'd like to go and speak to a knowledgeable community, you can go to the Vox Relay, which is the Vaults of Terra forum, and talk to them there. So, I hope you've enjoyed the video today. See you next time on the Vaults of Terra.